Okay, we are live on Tuesday evening. Welcome to Testimonial Tuesday, March 9th, 2021. I'm Jeff Berger of Abundance and Optimum Wellness, also known as your holistic wellness gladiator. So before I formally introduce my special guest tonight, many of you have followed my holistic journey, and I am really humbled and honored by those of you who have been following me, reaching out. And my mission with these weekly interviews is really to bring light to an area of health and wellness that's not really getting the attention that it should. And it needs to be in the front of mainstream media, including social media. And that's why we're here. Okay. So as a certified health and integrative wellness coach, I'm actually partnered with a holistic mental wellness company focusing on the microbiome. And many of you already know what that is. It's your gut, brain, heart, axis health, which I believe is a science today that's disrupting the health and wellness industry, because our great Hippocrates was the first who documented all disease starts in the gut. So if you're joining us live, let us know in the comments where you're tuning in from. If you're going to catch us on the replay, let us know on the replay. We'll definitely circle around with you and answer any questions that you have. And without further ado, this dude is from Las Vegas, Nevada, and he is married to a beautiful Andrea Clark and has a gorgeous daughter, Sammy. And he is of the mindset of you can't heal from the same environment that made you sick. He's a mentor of Let's Get You Unstuck, helping you work through pain well. Welcome, Seth Clark. Tell us a little bit about you, a little bit more about you before we dive into tonight's questions, and welcome.
Sounds good. Thanks. That was, man, you got me excited to be here. So I'm really happy to be here now. That was great. Thanks. Appreciate you. Yeah, so I am a pain and trauma mentor, and I help people that are working through complex PTSD and systems like that. One thing that I've come to realize and recognize that got me to that point was that pain is it's more of a trauma. It's a trauma reaction than it is anything else. It's your body on hyperdrive, on overload. And when that happens, the pain response is made even more so. And the people I've been working with, and with my own self, because I have a history of chronic pain. So with my own journey and then working with other people, it really comes back down to root issue. So like we're always talking, you know, holistically, like getting down to the root issue of things. You know? So
absolutely.
That's where that is.
Absolutely. Wow. So yes, and you know, getting to the root of it, I think what I'm noticing and learning as on my journey, because I've had my own health journey, you know, there's all types of you know, pain when it comes to any type of autoimmune disease, anything that is out of the norm when you're not in a homeostasis state, if you will, which is you're just really feeling great and everything's going well. So, but share, you know, you've had an incredible journey, and you know, I applaud you for who you are, what you're doing, and why you're doing it. You know, I just, the more I read about you and learn about you, it blows my mind. But share a little about your journey before you actually were introduced to, you know, the holistic options that we're talking about tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. My story goes way back to early childhood into adolescence, just tumultuousness. I had dealt with obesity my whole life, dealt with mood issues, personality struggles, interpersonal relationships, and really that. And then I was in a car accident when I was a teenager that compounded lots of those things. It also compounded addiction to substances as well as food, even further at that point. So that's kind of just like carried with me through all of my life. And you know, it wasn't until I kind of came to a head when things were really, really bad. My health was really bad. I was the heaviest I'd ever been. I was the most mentally unwell that I had ever been in my life as well, with just depression and anxiety. I was completely burned out from, I was doing school full time. I was working at the church, so that was like 20 to 40 hours a week, and so it was like a full-time job.
Right.
And then doing like worship for the church, so that was like weekends as well. So I was just like burnout, and I made a bunch of choices, and I just kind of like blew up my life. And then I like found myself in this spot where I'm like, okay, like hit rock bottom. I'm ready to go up now. I have to go up. I need to find a different direction. So I radically changed my lifestyle based on those choices. But then also I started to be more conscious of myself.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And many of us do hit rock bottom, you know, and it's different levels of rock bottom. And we get to the point where we're just sick and tired of being sick and tired, and we're looking for those things. And you don't find them in Western medicine. I didn't find it in Western medicine. I'm sure that you didn't. And people have to look outside of the box. We're in a box that I think we're being led down a path that is not a very good healthy, or it's not a really healthy path, you know, and things have to change, and we're out there providing that information and kind of directing people and sharing value. That's the biggest thing, is we're here to share value and share our stories, which is so amazing. So you've gone through that, chemical dependency, opioid dependency, all those things. So I relate to that, where you were coming from. But now that you have incorporated holistic options as part of your lifestyle, which is what I've done, share with the audience, the changes that you have actually encountered over the last couple of years. Yeah.
So, I mean, I began a spiritual and kind of like reassessing like where I was as like just a person, so I really started to kind of look outward and look to get like, what's going on with me? Why am I this way? I was just trying to like understand what's going on, and a bunch of different things kind of like came up. And it just kind of like came to my attention that like my chronic pain that I had dealt with for years and years and years was really coming back. And it's like, it was like every thought, everything in my mind. It ruled my day-to-day. I mean, it ruled family interactions, it ruled vacations, all this stuff. And I kept digging into it because I just wanted to be like through it, And then I realized that it's all trauma from my past. So it's not, I had a couple large traumas, but also like smaller, like interpersonal traumas, of certain needs not getting met and whatnot.
Right.
But then I started digging into that even more, and I learned that because holistically, like we're trying to think about the whole picture, right? So our current conventional medicine is all about symptoms, symptom management. How do we address this thing that's making you feel this way? But then holistically speaking, like there's just always a root issue. There's always something that goes deeper. Like there's always a level that can go deeper, deeper, deeper. So it's like on top of all this, the trauma story that I have, that means because of that stress that I went through in that part of my life, it set my gut up to be a bad place, to be in a place of dysbiosis. So that means a place of the bacteria in the gut being unhealthy and sick and more toxic than helpful, leaky gut for sure from all that. And that causes so much dis-ease in and of itself that it makes you more sick, which adds to your depressive symptoms, which it's a compounding effect, all kind of based on the gut, and absolutely. I addressing that on a big level, I started to be able to address my trauma, which is a crazy thing because the trauma reactions that happen to us it's a nervous system response. It's a fight or flight or freeze response. So it means you're in hyper alert, and the gut is what connects all that to go up to your brain. So if your gut is in disarray, like all your systems are going to be out of order. Your immune system, your lymphatic system, your endocrine system, like I mean, everything gets messed up from that. And that's, you know, like you're saying, like the newer science that it's really showing now is like it all starts in the gut. Like it's not a hyperbole to say it starts in the gut. Like it is like, that's a factual statement. So
yes, yeah, the science is definitely showing this. And with the microbiome project, which is the gut brain axis again, this project started in 2006, and over the last 4 to 5 years have been publishing their research and their clinical studies in scientific and medical journals today. So, and this is where, you know, we're getting that science and the protocols that we're incorporated into our lifestyle has this science and has the protocols and the plants. Plants were put here for a reason. And, you know, the new era is going to be mental health, mental wellness. Mental wellness is the new physical health today. And the industry is really looking for non-pharmaceuticals. I was on a global wellness nutrition event or a Zoom call this morning. And actually, Dr. Sean was on it too. So it was a surprise to see him there. But yeah, this is big. It's going to be big. And I want to just real quick before I go to the next question, you know, we've got Courtney Jacobs, my buddy from Pennsylvania, and we have the infamous _Th Clark. You are my love over there in Las Vegas. And then we've got Mike. Mike is from Canada. And then we've got Ryan, my buddy Ryan King. He is in Las Vegas as well. So yes, so we got 3 people from Las Vegas. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. So with that, you know, Seth, share some of the, you know, some of what you're doing as far as helping others work through pain well. What is your, you know, what's a typical a session that you find that you're working through with an individual who's dealing with, you know, pain, and kind of enlighten the viewers out there of what you're doing, and so we can learn. I love to learn what other people are doing as well.
Absolutely, yeah. So it really is you know, I work with people, and you know, we come to the understanding very early on, like this is a process. This isn't something that you're going to see instant results, you know, like you may see some, but don't expect it, you know. It took a lifetime to get where you are today. So it's not going to take a lifetime to get out of, but just know that it takes some time to catch up. You know, and then the first things first, the thing I find kind of based on my own experience plus research that I've been doing and courses I've been taking, when our nervous system is out of whack, that's when our life is in disarray. And that starts from very early on. And when that happens, that stress from that causes this big gut issue. So that gut issue is established much earlier in life. And because of that and the ongoing amounts of you re-traumatizing yourself, being traumatized by others, that sort of thing, it just leads to your gut being totally busted. So my first step with my people is like, are you committed? And are you willing to set aside the things that are making you sick? That's another Hippocrates quote. And when they're like, yes, I am, then it's like, okay, we're going to work on your gut first. Because I know for me, because I was just so dysregulated, my systems were all I just had I don't want to say I didn't really have a chance, but I would make steps forward, but then like, I would like sabotage it based on my nervous system response because my gut and my brain can't communicate properly. So this is the thing that really gives people a foundation to actually move forward. You have to be able to get over the biological active automation that happens. Like these things you have to understand, they just happen without you knowing it. It takes you offline and it just puts you in a state of being protective or, you know, and it's really dense. But so that's where we start. It's starting with like, let's get your gut in order. And then once we start that protocol and we work through that, because that brings it brings discomfort. I'm finding with my trauma people, because that trauma is so deeply rooted in our systems. When you're stirring all of that up to get some goodness going, it like stirs up a lot of emotion. So that's something that we work through and we encounter, and with that, then that's when I bring in education, because that's where, if you can understand what's happening to you, why it's happening to you, and how it may have happened to you, it's going to give you a fighting chance of like moving forward. Like you can't move forward if you don't know a thing. So
exactly.
you have to know the thing first.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I like, what you said earlier, was the fact we have been really, what I say is we've been destroying our bodies for decades with the foods that we're eating, with a lot of the other things, the constant pharmaceuticals that people are prescribed, like Skittles, on a daily basis. Is that a long-term solution? No, I don't believe it is. We go back to getting to the root of it, which these, doctors today don't. And even the event that I attended today, the doctors were on saying we only get 4 hours of nutrition class in 4 years of medical school. So there's a lack of knowledge there. So, food is medicine, but it depends on where you're getting your food from, and it takes time. It's not that, that beautiful blue pill or that red pill, and it's not going to be fixed overnight. So, and that's really important to let people know that this is going to take time. And I will add, it's a beautiful thing, because when you start feeding your body temple with the right protocols, healthy food, non-chemically treated, non-processed, so forth and so on, your body really bounces back relatively quickly. So with that, we're coming up towards the end here. What's one thing you'd like to share with our viewers who might be looking for that one glimmer of hope to improving their physical and or mental well-being?
That one glimmer of hope. That would be get down to the root cause. Like get down to what's really going on. Like start questioning your motives. Start getting curious. Start asking yourself more questions. As you maybe react in a negative way to a situation, maybe after the fact, like objectively stand back and be like, maybe why did I do that? Like maybe like what could have caused me? Like what did they do? What was my surroundings like? Like what happened? So get curious. That's kind of what it is. It's like get curious and ask yourself and your body questions.
Awesome. That's great. Great advice, Seth. I so appreciate you coming on tonight, and we'll do this again, most definitely. Sharing our stories and bringing relatability across to those people who are really searching for answers is, and that's what we're here for. We're here to spread the word, share vision, share hope, because we've got, thousands and thousands of testimonials. And when I was thinking about holistic back in the day, it was like, I thought it was foo-foo stuff, that voodoo stuff. Reality is, no, it's authentic, it's real, it's safe, and it works. That's the thing. It works. So thank you, Seth Clark, and thank you for all the viewers who came on tonight. And for those who are going to catch us in the replay, we appreciate you sharing. Next Tuesday, I will be bringing Sandy Manus from Texarkana, Texas, on Testimonial Tuesday next week. So thanks very much, everybody. Have an awesome night. Bye-bye.